Good morning. Today is January 6, 2025, and we are, as I mentioned a few days ago, I said that I was seeing this as a look below and fail when we tested this area and we couldn't continue lower, and then we saw some buying, some strong buyers show up, and I said that what should happen is that we should retest the top of this range, which I said also that we at least should test the 6,000, and then if we keep going, then we should test this 640 area, 630 I had said, and then we left a bullish imbalance on Friday session, and I posted my 6042 target, which we just hit almost to the tick, right? I think we missed one tick. Look at that. One tick. Sorry, guys. I'll do better next time. But we are just testing that target, and this is a low volume area which should act as some resistance. We have a gap here that still hasn't filled, and we're opening with inventory almost 100%. It's like about maybe 90% long from the close from Friday. Weekly closes are a little bit more relevant than daily closes because it's just, it's a larger time frame. So I think we should see a little bit of a correction and attempt to fill that gap, and maybe from there that would be a key decision, right? Because we have the gap, which is right at the previous week's high. It's right at that low volume node right here, right at the monthly pivot area. So if we get inside the range, and if we get inside and the range from Friday, then we could see a move back down into this choppy zone, which hopefully we reject, because if we get in here, it's gonna get choppy again, in my opinion. But anyway, like when you have a gap this big, this is 50 something points. It's not that easy, right? You usually don't see a move straight back into filling the gap, because you have some shorts that are trapped. You can see that we left some single prints. So I look at this and I try to think of it level to level, right? So if you can see in this chart right here, you have this distribution here. So the first place that buyers are gonna defend is inside this area of single prints. If that gives, then looking at this distribution, and then there's some single prints here. But now once we fill this single prints, we're gonna be back below the 6,000 area, and we're gonna have the gap filled pretty much very close to there. So people are gonna try to short here, and join and play for the gap fill, right? And then in here, then we have inventory mostly corrected, so we could see a bounce even before we fill the gap. So we'll see what the order flow is like when at the open. But basically that's what it is. I expect some correction. I don't expect it to be an easy trade down because of what I just mentioned. Now, if we fail to correct, and if we get back above the overnight high, then I would go long and play for a gap fill, which fills at 60.6325, and then in here we're gonna be trading at the spike of this session. But I really want to see us get back inside value for this area, and that would be like about 60.72. So above that, then where we could see more buyers show up. And then I posted this level of 60.83 because look at all this negative delta here. So that's some big position there, that we can see that it's not going to be easy to get through. It's going to need some time, and that coincides, it's very close to the value area low for this session. So watch that 60.83 area. And then above that we have the 61.16 target that was left from this session's or I think this session's bullish imbalance. These two, we have a couple of bullish imbalance targets here, one at 61.16 and one at 61.36, but you know, on top of this big gap, I don't know if we're gonna get much more than the gap fill, so we'll see. Let's take it one area at a time. And then NQ, it's a very similar structure. Large gap fill is also coinciding with that monthly pivot, the previous week's high, very close to it too. The previous week's high is actually higher than the gap fill, the RTH gap fill for NQ. So and then we still have a gap that fills at 21,870 and a quarter, and then above that the target becomes that 21,985. Okay, I'm gonna actually, I didn't post the volume profile for NQ, so I'm gonna screenshot really quick so I can post. Give me 1 second. Just want to make sure that we have this. So that's NQ. All right. Then crude is still on an uptrend. You know, very nice follow through. We have some support right now between 72.20 and 72.40. And you know, until we don't start seeing sellers, then we gotta stay with the trend. And I had mentioned this area as resistance right before the 200 moving average, which is around just above 75. We're almost there. So if we get there, then we're likely gonna see a little bit of a pullback back into that 5-day point of control, which is at 73.10 right now. A little bit above that. So so far one time framing up. Watch for some reversal coming up. And then gold is back to that 20-day point of control. It's you know, it's coming back. So it came back to this area where we had all this consolidation before, and now it came back. You see how like it tested below it, then it started coming back above it, then retested this area, and then now it kind of is rejecting it now, and we're coming back. So basically we're shifting value, which was up here, and we're shifting it lower. So it's establishing a lower range right now. So because we tested up here, so now I'm expecting a retest of that value area low for this range, which is around the 2600 area. So between 2675 and 2600 is the range that we're trading at right now. So I'm expecting a move back and forth through this until probably the next FOMC or something like that, where we get more or the CPI, when we get more inflation data and stuff. Today we have at 9:45 we have PMI, and we have some factory orders at 10 a.m. So watch those. And tomorrow we have JOLTS opening, and we have a FOMC minutes on Wednesday, and NFP on the 10th on Thursday, which, right before that, the NFP numbers, we usually get a lot of chop and a lot of volatility. So we could expect some volatility to continue through this week, in my opinion. All right, good luck, and good luck. Subscribe to the channel.